Hi all! In this video I will demonstrate everything you need to know about deferrable views and how to use them. The defer block has been available since Angular 17 and in version 18 this feature is stable. But what exactly does it do? Deferrable views allow us to easily delay the loading of components until they are needed. Only standalone elements like components can be deferred. If you use model-based elements, they will be eagerly loaded. Let's dive in and explore how to use the defer block. I have a simple app with a component that displays a chart using chart.js library. Now, let's use the defer block. Look, a new chunk was created and the main bundle size is smaller. Let's see what happened. Our chunk was loaded right away as we have resources for it. Additionally, the chart.js library was lazy loaded too. As you can see, we can simply load dynamically standalone components, but also delay loading third-party dependencies until they are needed. By default, the defer block is triggered in the idle state. But what are these triggers? They are instructions for deferrable blocks of when the lazy chunks have to be loaded and activated. We have two types of triggers. First, on, using built-in triggers, and when, based on conditions. You can find all possible triggers well explained on angular.dev site. I will start with when condition and show the Pokemon chart after clicking the button in the placeholder. The placeholder is an optional block that displays content before the defer block is triggered. Let's see it in action. The placeholder is visible, and after clicking the button, the chunk and chart.js dependency are loaded, and the chart is displayed. What's more, triggers can be combined with each other. I want to use onHover and 2-second delay timer. When one of them is fulfilled, the component will be loaded. After 2 seconds, the chart is visible. What about onHover? It works! For the next trigger, I will switch to my second app, where I'm displaying Pokemons by type. What I want to do now is to defer each Pokemon using onViewport trigger. So, when specific content enters the viewport, dependencies will be loaded. With some triggers, it is required to set a placeholder block, like in this case. Okay, everything is ready. So it's time to see the result and check how this viewport trigger works. I will inspect this view. As you can see, we have 3 Pokemon components loaded, and the rest are placeholders. We see only 2 Pokemons, but the third is in the viewport range. When I'm scrolling down, the next placeholders change to Pokemon components, and we can see new Pokemons on the screen. But return to the placeholder block, because it gives us more possibilities. This block has an optional minimum parameter that specifies the amount of time that the placeholder should be shown. It could be in the seconds or milliseconds. It is very useful because it prevents fast content flickering. As you can see, I hovered over the button, but the chart didn't show immediately. We had to wait because I set a minimum display time for the placeholder. The next optional block that you can use is loading. It will be shown during the loading of deferred dependencies. It is eagerly loaded like a placeholder. The spinner was not displayed because our dependency was loaded too fast. Let's get back to the code and try to set the minimum param to 3 seconds. This optional parameter works similarly to the minimum param in the placeholder. Yes, now the spinner is visible. The loading block has one more parameter, after. It specifies the amount of time to wait after loading begins, before showing the loading template. Let me slow down a little bit to show you the difference. Because the time of the downloading is longer, we can see the spinner. If I change it to the normal condition, the spinner is not visible. The last possible block is an error. It will be displayed when the third loading fails. So let's check it. I will simulate the connection problem, set offline in the network options, and hover over the button. Voila! The error block is displayed. The last thing, prefetching, allow us to separate when something should be downloaded and when it should be shown. The prefetch keyword is used in the main defer block, like other triggers, and it accepts when and on triggers. I will set prefetch on hover and show the chart component when the value of the show signal will be true. Let's see it in action. After hovering over the button, our chunk and chart.js are loaded, but the placeholder is still visible. Now I will click the button, and the chart is loaded. To sum up, the Deferrable View is a powerful feature that can reduce initial bundle size and gives the possibility to defer heavy components and also third-party libs. We can use built-in triggers or use our conditions, but remember that only standalone elements could be deferred. That's all for now. Thank you. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more coding tips and tutorials. See you in the next episode.